Welcome everyone to our 17th Fireside Chat. I'm Tim Hollick, and with me as always my good friend Joe Zinni.
Hey Tim, how are you today?
I'm doing good, how about you?
I'm doing fabulous. Sun's out, pool's open. Feeling
It's warm out.
It's warm out. It's our time of the year. We like this. It gets you out of the house. You want to do some stuff in the yard or around the house. You want to get out. You want to see things.
It's true.
I know that you've been doing a lot of getting around, seeing a lot of things, getting out.
Yeah.
Went to a concert the other night. You went to dinner.
That's the good part about it, is it's nice out. I mean, it was hot this weekend. Now, one day Saturday, it was just stifling with the humidity.
Yeah.
But it's still nice to know
Yeah.
you can get out and do things now.
Yeah, you get a little more energy, I think, when you want to be out there. You know, you're not trying to fight the cold at the same time. So.
Right. So what are we talking about today?
I love this time of the year. We're going to talk about something that's very important to you. I know it's called urgent mindset, and it's a lot of times, you know, people get a plan together, and then they don't quite follow all the way through. You know, how do you light that fire? How do you make the next step? You've got this urgent mindset, and you want to get it done. And one of the things that we've been doing really well with is the videos. You know, you came up with the idea, or we came up with the idea to get together, and we keep following through to make these work. You know, talk to me a little bit about your urgent mindset.
Well, basically, you know, I've always had an urgent mindset ever since I was a kid. So basically, once I put something in my head, a vision, I feel I need to complete it. And, you know, it's tough to explain sometimes to people as, well, I want to complete it too. Yeah, but you have to have the fire inside to want to complete it, and complete it as quick as possible, because unfortunately too many people go down that road of having a vision, but then their urgency in their body is not saying they want to complete things, and the longer they go, the more lazy you become.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to have an urgent mindset. It's like exercise. You got to really put in your head that you got to complete, you know, whether you want to or not.
Well, I'm sure that you and I talked days. I've come in and you said, I really didn't want to get on the Peloton today. You did, because you knew that in order to reach your goals, you need to do this when you plan it.
Exactly.
Do it.
Exactly. And then people don't say, you know, they tell me all the time, well, I didn't have the energy to exercise, you know, these mornings or these nights or whatever they exercise.
Right.
But, you know, believe it or not, when you have an urgent mindset, you're going to complete it, because what comes out of it, one thing, you completed something, and two is you develop energy when you exercise.
Sure. Absolutely.
You just don't realize that until you get past that hump.
You don't. And how many times have you talked about, or you heard people talk about, well, I worked out this morning and it started my day well, and now I have the energy for the whole day. I mean, you hear it all the time. So you're making your plan. Another piece that, you know, I want to talk about to you is, you talked about it, you know, do the plan and then do it. The end result, the priority, having a priority. Sometimes you got to learn how to prioritize things. The urgent mindset is, you've got things going on during the day, and we all know that there's interruptions. I mean, you know, you get in here and you have a plan, but your urgency, your urgent mindset, you need to get to the end result. You need to prioritize. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, you know, seeing the end result is a huge thing, because that sets your mind. If you keep thinking about where you want to go with your plan, your ideas, whatever it is, you know, prioritizing things is huge, especially when you're busy.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people, they don't have the luxury of time sometimes because they work for somebody, so they have certain things. But you got to prioritize what's important, what's not important. I think that's a big key to our, you know, talk that we talked about before. And what we've always talked about is, you know, time management, which really is self-management.
It is.
You know, and it's, you know, you don't want to be just checking off things during the day. A lot of people, they have a checklist of things they got to do in a day, but really you got to go one step further, prioritize things in that. Do you really need to be doing that today?
That's really key, because I've seen people do that, and they get their checklist and they haven't prioritized it, and the last thing that gets done should have been done second or third. Now you get an angry customer. Yeah,
well, that's the thing. You know, you don't have to get to everything as quickly, and then sometimes when you prioritize, you say, I don't really need that. Some people are just task orientated, and they like to check off tasks, especially when they're analytical. Analytical mindsets love to check off tasks in the day. It doesn't matter what it is, and you could give those people a task, and you know, your task really wasn't an urgency, but they make it because they want to check off another task. And sometimes it would have been better to prioritize, I need to get these things done first, because that helps the urgent mindset is what do you need to accomplish, the end in mind, how do you get there quicker? And unfortunately, some people come up with excuses, well, I didn't have the time to do that. Well, no, you had the time, you weren't prioritizing your day, you needed to get that done. Right. You can't let something like with a customer go too long. And, it could have been more of a quicker thing, and you got to get it done. You just can't push it aside because I didn't have the time. That's only an excuse.
Right.
That's an excuse.
That's
what we do to make ourselves feel good.
And we talked about excuses.
Yeah.
It only makes yourself feel good, when in reality, you may feel good, but you have an angry customer or a vendor or, the bank, somebody that you didn't pay attention to details and you needed to do that right away. And, we've talked about this before, that, getting rid of 10 tasks when really all you needed to do is the top 4, and those 4 didn't get done as solidly as the other ones, you're paying for it the next day.
Well, people sometimes ask them, how do you know what's important? Because you have to look at where you're going and say, what's going to be the quickest way to get there with things that will help me achieve that I can push aside other things first. And you really have to be thinking it out. I mean, everything's a thought process. Do I always prioritize right? No. But if you can be prioritizing more than not and getting them right, that's a key to get to where you're trying to get. And some end results are quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Could be a very quick thing. Hey, Joe, we got to get this stuff done. We've got a week to do it. And again, some people will make excuses. And there's no excuse, really, unless you were sick.
Right, well, right. And then that
sick.
week will come and then it didn't get done. Well, you should have done the first day, not the 6th day.
That's right. It's like homework. When they've got 5 weeks to accomplish it. When the kid starts doing it, 2 days before the last part.
Right, then they start screaming, well, I didn't have to, I don't have this. Well, if you'd started 5 weeks ago, we could have ordered it and got it in, or you could have gone to the library and got the information.
I see that a lot with business planning, too.
I see, too.
You have to plan ahead. And if you've got a set date to open up something, or a set date for this, or set date for that, you have to think ahead, because now the priority becomes, I better get that order because it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get.
Correct.
So see what happens when you have that urgent mindset. You're always thinking it. People say, how do you get things done, Tim? Because I have an urgent mindset. I know I have to complete something, so I think.
Yeah.
I think through it and say, okay, if I'm going to get that done, I have to order something, and it won't take 2 days to get, it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
So your mind, the urgent mindset's always got your mind going. And I believe when your mind's set like that, you get more accomplished. You have more of a urgent mindset activity mind at that point. And that's a key. There's no magic to anything.
No.
It's really just focusing.
Right, it is.
Yeah, we've dealt with that too. It's focusing on things you need to get done to get to where you want. If I have to open the brewery and I know I've got 2 weeks to my date, I got to look at all the things I got to finish. Not I've got 2 weeks and 2 days before the 2 weeks, I got to order this.
Yeah, and it takes 3 days to get in.
It's too late.
You're in trouble.
It's too late. So your mind has to be thinking at all the time. Urgent mindset puts your mind in that mode. And I think that's what gets me to accomplish so much, because my mind's always in that mode.
Sure. Now, you've got other people who aren't in that mode. They wait till the last minute. They delay everything. Let's talk about that. I mean, what happens when you delay something, you can't have a very happy customer.
No, and that's the thing. And like anything else, if you put your hand in front of a dog to feed him and the dog bites you, that says you don't want to put your hand in front of that dog anymore. So it's the same thing with this. If you get to a point where you don't accomplish what your vision was, you should learn from that and learn that maybe I've got to become a better urgent mindset person. And I relate everything to urgent mindset. If you can put that in your mind, not put it aside, I've got 5 weeks. Well, you better be thinking about it now, because again, if you order something too late, you're not going to get it done.
Well, some things are out of your control. And you're talking about when you have the urgent mindset. I don't have control over this. Let's get started now, because I don't know what kind of things they're going to run into or I'm going to run into with them. You want to keep that. Time is precious. Time is real precious. We talk about it all the time. So your urgent mindset, You need to use that time valuably, and you talked earlier about it, time management.
Right.
You try to manage your time the best you can.
Yeah.
And there are outside things we can't account for, but if you're managing your time and you're pulling that in, okay, I can't account for that because that's not on me. I have to be aware that it could cost me time later on. Talk about the precious time and talk about, how you plan and you manage your time so other people are managing their time.
Well, I've become better over time. When it comes to other people, it's constant reminders to them. You might be bugging the people too much, but sometimes certain people need that reminder because you can't let it go to the end and then ask. Right. Because then, I haven't had time. That's usually the excuse you hear. That just makes you feel better.
Yeah.
It's not the truth.
It's not.
People will lie before admitting they've done something or didn't do something. Priority to me is I sit there in the morning and my mind's going, before I get up. When I get up, my wife always makes a joke, oh, that's, she asks me a question, I give her that look, oh, that's what you're not a morning person. So I thought I'm not a morning person, I get up early pretty much everywhere unless I need some extra sleep. Like on Saturday, I sleep till 7.
That's fine.
That way there I replenish my body from the week. But I'm an early person. It's more the fact my mind's thinking what I need to do during the day. Right. So what am I doing? I'm thinking ahead again. Urgent mindset. I have to get things done today. Could I just sit there most days and say, hey, I'm going to take the day off and do it? I could, of course I could. Wouldn't get things done that way. I wouldn't be as far in life.
You wouldn't be in business for 40 years if you did.
That's right.
And I think that's the piece that people need to understand. That I was talking to somebody the other day that owns their own business, and I said, people think it's all easy, that things just automatically happen. If you're not planning and if you're not getting that mindset, it's not going to happen because it lies on you at the end. You could sit here and say 6 people failed me, but if you didn't do what you just talked about and went to these people and say, where are we with this, where are we with that, and knew that ahead of time and waited till the last minute, then you didn't manage your time, therefore they're not going to manage this.
To have urgent, doing urgent mindset is one key thing that you develop within yourself, and that's becoming responsible.
Right.
You have a responsibility, and I feel everything I do, whether it's in here, out and about, it's my responsibility to do something, get something done, whatever the situation is. So, you make yourself more responsible when you have an urgent mindset. You do. And I have a responsibility every day for people who work here. If I don't accomplish certain things, it's like the showroom, constantly asking, when's that getting done in the showroom? When's that display getting done? I have to keep reminding people because otherwise if they, most people don't have an urgent mindset.
They don't.
They come to work every day. I don't look, even when I work for somebody, I didn't come to work every day. Of course I came to work every day. But my mind was always thinking ahead still, what I needed to get done that day.
When I'm driving here in the morning, I get through my morning, I just try and wake up, and I've already started thinking of a few things. As a matter of fact, this morning, there was some things I wanted to print it up. I fired up my computer before I even left work, for work. Right. Got everything put together, sent an email, so I'm running a few minutes late because I was getting some things together. And then the whole time I'm driving to work, I'm trying to listen to maybe the radio a little bit, but my mind has already started thinking about, okay, what am I going to get done today? Right. That I need to get done first, and then as the things then follow up after that, I can attack those pieces afterwards. But you're right, your urgent mindset, you need there's 3 or 4 things you need to get done before you even get yourself started.
And when I'm pushing you or asking you questions, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to develop responsibility.
Sure.
And that's really all urgent mindset is being responsible enough to take it serious enough that you need to complete what you're going after, what you're going to do, whether it's daily, a monthly project, a yearly project, no matter what it is, it's got to get done. I went to the brewery, a couple months ago because I knew I had to stain and finish all the wood that they got put up. Right. And it was a hand operation. So my urgent mindset is to get it done as much each day. Good. So that was my first thing. Hey, maybe I can accomplish from here to all the way over there. Well, I didn't, but my mind thought that.
But you're already that much further ahead rather than wait till tomorrow or the next day or next week, because you've already started getting some of the pieces done. When I used to get projects
done that way.
Absolutely. And you're not panicking at the end and getting, you can tell the difference between something that's taken 6 weeks to do. That's right. Or 6 weeks worth of work done in a week. There's a big difference. There's a huge difference.
So get your mind ahead.
Absolutely.
Always think ahead.
Yeah.
Always think about what has to get accomplished, what needs to be done certain time. Hey, I could be preparing for a wedding, but I'm still working in the morning, late afternoon, late morning doing this, and then before
Oh,
I go
yeah.
to the wedding, I'm
Yeah.
washing my vehicle.
Right.
So, see what my mind's doing, where's your mindset?
It's,
You know?
it's very important. You want to stay ahead of things. Make sure you prioritize. I think that's the most important thing you talked about through all of this is planning and staying ahead.
That's right.
Prioritizing what you're doing, because sometimes you're doing something that doesn't matter,
That's right,
and 3 other things that need to get done right away aren't getting done.
that's right,
This is not task management. This is time management.
that's right. Yep,
We hope you enjoyed this, got something out of it, and we will see you next week.
have a great day.
Thank you.